So I'm just walking and I'm thinking, like, there's the Amud in Nachal Amud. I was thinking that there's so many different ways to look at this flipping back and forth on the twin flame journey. Going in between these different thoughts, the old way of thinking, the new way of thinking. You can look at it physically. You're making new thought patterns in your brain. The neurons that are used to firing in certain situations are now being weaned. It's just like any other addiction that you're cleaning out. There's a pattern in your brain that is used to thinking in a certain way, or used to having, being fed, and now you are starving it because you're thinking in a new way. And because it's so hardwired in your brain, it's automatic. So your brain wants to go there automatic to those thoughts or that vibration, and so it's a process that you have to do this purposely. It's purposely in one way, but it's also in another way. You don't really have, like, once you realize a truth, you can't go backwards from that truth without just knowingly lying to yourself. So once you realize the truth and you change a rooted thought in your mind, there's pain in that. There's pain in change. It's like weaning off of an addiction, weaning off of a way of thinking. And you are those neurons that have already gotten hooked together, by being thought again and again and again, almost in a way that, and many times it's automatic. That's why it's so hard for us to find those patterns, because they happen so automatic, and they've been happening that same way since our earliest childhood, because that's when we made these beliefs, especially the core beliefs that we build our whole life on, our how we feel about ourselves, our place in the world. And a lot of that is already programmed into us generation after generations. Our parents are sitting. So I'm talking, I can give a specific example of growing up in a house where we were always poor. It was a way of being. And when in Hebrew, it's called toda'at oni. It's like you have this perception of being poor. It's just like when you see people that grew up with certain standards, typically they will stay in the same standards that they grew up in when they were, that they grew up in. And later on in life, they'll be about the same as their parents were. And you see it over and over and over and over. Generations that don't move. And that is because there's something in there that's hardwired that's the way it is. And it's very difficult to make a jump from here to here, or go anywhere, any kind of jump, and changing. You have to change the whole way that you perceive things. And now, so you can look at it that way, which is probably the most simple way to look at it. But you can also look at it as there are energies all around us all the time. And we are transmitters, and what is the opposite of transmitters? Where we also liklot, like we also, it's like a beacon that has two ways. It can either transmit a signal, or it can also receive signals. So we have the capability, not only do we have the capability, we do them both all the time. That's why when we meet somebody we don't like is a vibe. So it's a vibration. It's a signal they're sending off. It's their energy. It's the energy behind them. Or you meet somebody that has really low energy, or you meet somebody that has really high energy. There's all sorts of energies. And these energies are something that we connect to. That's why whenever you meet somebody, whoever you meet, it's always a combination of your energy with their energy. Maybe doing this video, you're getting, and there's nobody else here but my doggies and Nachal Amud, then you're getting my energy here in this situation. And maybe that's, I don't know. But I know that every single person that I meet in a different place, because the meeting is a combination of the two. It's a combination of his energy or her energy mixed with my energy. And every person we meet in different places of our being. Everybody that we meet, in order for an interaction to happen, we have to meet on certain places, right? There has to be points in which we meet. And every single person that we meet in different points that we have in common with that person. That's why sometimes when you meet somebody, you can just have the funniest sense of humor with them. And sometimes you meet people that they wake up all sorts of different emotions or different vibes inside of you and bring different things out of you. Also in relationships, like there's different people bring different parts of you out, different lessons. So the point I was making there is that this jumping back and forth it's not only in the brain, the different ways of thinking, but it's also with the vibe. If you're used to having a certain vibe or connecting to a certain energy that is around you, and that is your go-to, then it's real simple and easy and comfortable to connect to that energy because it's what you know. So if you are used to telling a certain story about yourself and that is in a certain energy and it gives you all of the outs, because you don't, when you're in a comfortable mode, you have all the answers. So when you start going through these massive changes, like we do in a spiritual awakening, I'm missing a plant. In a spiritual awakening, you start going through these massive changes. And especially when you meet your twin flame, because you are constantly getting a reflection of all of the different places in you. But you also get the reflections of the places that you love too. So give that the weight and the attention that it needs as well. And we are taking it all in. And then we start going back and forth. It's because we're cleaning out these old beliefs that we don't believe anymore. And a lot of times we don't have anything to put in place of them yet. We're stepping out on a limb. We know that the old way of thinking isn't correct, but we don't know exactly what the new way is yet. It's still opening up for us. So this is a place in which first of all, we need to be strong and patient to wait for the right things to put in those spaces, because it's like you're clearing something out and you're vulnerable in those places because those places need a new believing or a new way of being, a new vibe to enter in. Beautiful. The sun already went down quite a while ago. See, the moon is up there too, but you can barely see it. So when you start clearing out these places, they're left. See, the word that's coming is unguarded, but they're not unguarded because you're guarding them. But they're left vulnerable and not only vulnerable, these places that are left empty are used to being full. They want to be filled back up with something. And so they are nagging at you too. All these places in your mind are nagging, like what's going on? That's why you feel like you need answers. You need what's going on. And really, we need to watch these places. And that, I think also that one of the reasons that we keep on going back and forth and flipping out and flipping in and out of different ways of thinking and different vibrations is because these places are left empty and different things are coming in and out. You're flipping in between the old way of thinking. The old way wants to come back in. It's like there's a void there that keeps on wanting to get filled. So, and it's the easy way of thinking slips in, and then you say no, and then you push it out, and then you try to put it, and it's a constant. it's an awareness. So that was my point, that there's so much going on here. It's not only in the physical, where there's different brain, physical action going on in your brain, where you're actually weaning these brain cells from lighting. You are also connecting to different vibrations that maybe in the past but you haven't been connected to so fluently, like the pure vibration of love, very high vibration to hold. So that is what I have to say about that. And I already got here almost to my car, and it's almost dark. So I am sending you lots and lots and lots of love. I like this video. I think this video had a lot of good insight, also for me and also for whoever's watching and is on this on this twin flame journey, path, doohy, majig. So that's it for this time.